Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It is Friday. We made it, guys. We made it to the end of the week. Woohoo! We're going to tell you all the news you need to hear about so you don't have to worry about it over the weekend. So no doom scrolling on the weekend because we're going to tell you everything you need to know. This is the first and only international game show Before Coffee, the father and daughter news podcast where we look up our stories right before the show starts. We just got caffeine in our body and we're learning to speak and read live on stream. Let's get into those Friday headlines and spin that segue wheel. Today on the Friday's news dump, Germany repeats call for EU force to replace UN peacekeepers in Lebanon. And Polish president vetoes bills that would have improved rights of same-sex couples.
And greetings and good day. Where we report on the White House teleprompter operator has reportedly made over $100,000 betting on Trump speeches. And Wisconsin Elector Commission wants to charge Elon Musk with a crime.
World Cup might not be the UK's, but the Falklands definitely are, says a defiant number 10 after Argentina ban a row. Trying to save some of their pride. Plus, bumper butterfly summer? Charity urges people to join a UK-wide count to find out.
Oh yes, and JD Vance in the news, or as we call him here, the Sarah Palin of Dan Quayle's. JD Vance says Trump administration screwed up communications around the Epstein files. I'll guess they screwed up.
In my culture news, Ava DuVernay to make Netflix documentary 14th on birthright citizenship. One of my favorite directors.
Yes, your favorite director. And it's National Ice Cream Month, and today's flavor is National Peach Ice Cream. I'm sorry, it is peach ice cream, not National Peach Ice Cream. I don't know what a National Peach is. It's Peace Ice Cream Day on July 17th, 2026 on Before Coffee. See, about July being ice cream month. There should never be any controversy about that. There's no better month for ice cream.
I hope not.
And we're not going to wait till August. We're not going to wait till August.
Though, for a lot of Europeans, August is actually the holiday month. Isn't that interesting? August and late July.
Yeah, because your office is too hot. We don't want to cool down your office. Go on vacation. We're shutting this crap down. That used to be a thing. If you ever watched that movie, Breakfast at Tiffany's? I know you've seen it. Mm-hmm. But that thing is about, right? The guy's alone, George Papard. He's a married guy, and he's alone in New York City. Why is he alone in New York City? Because in those days, there was no air conditioning. Wasn't everywhere. So people would send their families off to the Catskills for the whole entire summer. They go to the mountains of New York if they had the money. And that's what George Papard. That's why he was alone and flirting with, Audrey Hepburn. Of course, their awful Japanese landlord, played by Mickey Rooney, which is the worst caricature in the history of motion pictures.
Yeah, I think famously, every time you're talking about
Mickey Rooney,
racism in Hollywood, that's always the first example, sadly.
You know, they wanted Mickey Rooney for All in the Family. He was like their first choice. Did you know that? Instead of Carol O'Connor. Mickey Rooney, really? I wonder if you want to work with that Japanese character for the show. Hey, meathead, you want to see my Japanese landlord impersonation? No, I don't. I'm meathead.
Yeah,
remember,
thank you.
liberal.
Our first story today, first segue is Tell a Joke. With my first story coming out of Germany, and I don't know if you're going to be able to. You could probably tell jokes. It's from Al Jazeera.
Jokes for Germany.
Germany has repeated calls for the European Union to send a force to Lebanon to replace United Nations peacekeepers, or the UNIFIL, which are due to withdraw at the end of the year. Foreign Minister Johann Wadefuhl told broadcaster Red Dot Tennis Netzwerk Deutschland on today, the 17th of July, that Berlin has proposed a mission to prevent the development of a security vacuum in Lebanon's south. It said that the force is needed to allow Israel's army to withdraw from southern Lebanon while also preventing Hezbollah from returning with its terror. Israeli military currently occupies several areas in southern Lebanon, from where it has been launching strikes and operations that it says are aimed at the Iran-backed armed group, despite a ceasefire. Hezbollah, meanwhile, has continued attacks across the border into northern Israel. Amid the hostilities, pressure from the United States saw the UN Security Council agree last year to end UNIFIL's 48-year mission in Lebanon. We should examine in the EU whether we can ensure that no security vacuum arises with a European mandate following the UNIFIL mission, Waterfall said in an interview. UNIFIL deployed amid the first Israeli invasion of Lebanon in 1978. Key words there. Hezbollah is shooting at Israel. Poor Israel. Israel invaded them first. In 1978, has faced questions from all sides over its effectiveness. Well, since it's been 1978, I would say the effectiveness was null. Nothing has changed, particularly its inability to prevent Israel's deep advance into Lebanese territory during the war against Hezbollah. In May, Israel advanced further into Lebanese territory than at any point since it ended a nearly two-decade occupation of the country's south in 2000. This has fed into a debate over what mechanism should replace UNIFIL to prevent future conflict and provide relief to civilians. The proposal is not new. Debate within the EU about sending a mission to Lebanon once they withdraw has been underway for some time. Lebanon has offered its support to a potential EU-led mission. However, officials in Brussels and military sources have suggested that any such mission would differ significantly from UNIFIL's boots-on-the-ground peacekeeping model. Instead, it would likely involve support and training to help Lebanon's military fill the void. That's a great idea. The country that it belongs to should defend its own country. What an idea. Waterfall's comments come as Lebanon and Israel pursue a U.S.-brokered process to end the war. The two sides ended a sixth round of talks in Rome Wednesday, which was the 15th of July, focused on establishing pilot zones in southern Lebanon from which Israeli forces would begin withdrawing in exchange for disarmament of Hezbollah. And there is your status on, Israel just being a great global mover of bodies, I guess. It's really hard not to hate on the country that constantly just gets away with whatever it's doing because we're Jewish. We can do this stuff because of the Holocaust.
My ancestors are persecuted. And I'm like, yeah. You don't just get to persecute other people because of that, right? That's not how this works, right? We feel bad for you, but you don't get there. Oh, we gotta get out of jail free card forever.
Yeah, really annoying.
And my joke is a bit of a slur, but you don't want to make a German angry. You just don't. Because you know what you get? You get a sauerkraut. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. For the slur. I'm German. I'm fully 1/4 German.
Oh, I get it. I get jokes.
All right, our next story is coming out of a victim of the Germans, the Polish. It's from Reuters.
Oh yeah, victims of everybody for that matter.
Coming out of Warsaw.
Since they had their own thing 400 years ago.
Poland's president vetoed two bills today on the 17th of July that would have introduced a cohabitation contract for couples living together, dealing a blow to same-sex couples in one of the few European Union countries that limited rights for LGBT people. Prime Minister Donald Tusk took office in 2023, pledging to deliver reforms on abortion and rights, but division with his broad pro-European coalition as well as nationalist President Karol Nawrocki veto powers means he has struggled to do so. The bills on the status of the closest person in relationship and the cohabitation agreement would have allowed two adults to enter into an agreement regulating issues such as joint property rights, access to medical information, and matters concerning burial. Which means that if you're a lesbian or gay or queer relationship, right, and your boyfriend, girlfriend, or they them dies, you're allowed to say, hey, they wanted to be cremated, and now you're not. Now it's the family, like the closest kin, instead of the person who lives with you, right, who cares about you the most, because they don't have legal marriage there. So this is the closest thing they would have had. The bill has secured support from across the governing coalition, including from the conservative PSL party, which had refused to support earlier proposals, which they feared would undermine the institution of marriage. No! Marriage needs to be protected. It's undermined because people are doing it somehow. However, all those people agreed to pass this law, except for now Rocky, who is an ally of the National Opposition Party Law and Justice, and said the bill still went too far. I'm vetoing this. These proposals create a new formalized institution of family law. That's the point. Equipped with broad catalog of rights similar to those of marriage. That's the point, he said in a recorded statement. As the guardian of the Constitution, I cannot accept a solution that would lead to the loss of the special status of marriage. What does marriage mean if everyone's doing it? We find in Article 18 of the Constitution as a union of a man and a woman under the protection and care of the Republic of Poland. Whatever,
What?
dude. Just say I'm a homophobe and I disagree with this. Tusk responded angrily.
I'm so turned on by men that I got to turn the other way against other people because men turn me on. Is what he's saying.
I really care. I really care what people are doing in their house. Tusk responded angrily at Nawalny's decision, saying on Twitter, "The presidential veto is an expression of contempt for people and their right to happiness in a normal life. The government would need a 3/5 majority, with at least half of the lawmakers taking part in the vote, to overturn the veto. But with nationalist opposition parties opposed to the bill, this would be practically impossible to achieve." Imagine being a nationalist right now, and the things you stand for is hating people who look different than you, and hating people who are homosexual or whatever. It's not good optics, in my opinion. It's very. Katarzyna Kotula, the government official overseeing the equality issues, said Nawalny has turned his back on 2 million people living today in informal relationships. Even that Poland now recognizes same-sex marriages registered abroad, all these people are just going to have to go somewhere else, go to Germany or the Netherlands or something and get married there. Due to a ruling by the EU's top court, Kotula said she now would focus on ensuring these couples had access to all possible benefits. You're losing a war, dude. The Poland's campaign against homophobia said the bills vetoed by Nawalny were merely a fragment of the first version of the document, which dealt with civil partnership. Today's veto of the bill, however, shows that even the absolute minimum of rights the bill was intended to provide is too much for the president. This was reported by Alan Charlish and edited by Gareth Jones, yet again on Reuters. So,
wrote my own
disappointment,
this, so.
anger, whatever. Yeah, give me a joke so I can feel good about this somehow.
I wrote my own joke for this. It's a hell of a coincidence that Lindsey Graham didn't die in June. He died in July. He could have died in Pride Month. And people like Lindsey Graham is the reason Pride Month exists, because he has no pride. He hides who he is, so he can get blackmailed for it. By the way, the only reason you get blackmailed is because you're hiding it. So instead of, I'm not done with my joke yet. Instead of calling, so Pride Month is over, and in honor of Lindsey Graham, let's call July Hyde Month. There you go.
It's so sad.
It's fun, right? Because he was hiding who he really was, even though everybody knew it. Oh, everybody.
There's something.
His family, everybody knew. Yeah, Lindsey likes he likes guys. I mean, it's who he is, Lindsey. Just be yourself, man.
Well, it's too late.
Nope. Yeah. Become a compromised person your entire life for no good reason whatsoever. People still thought you were gay anyway.
People choose hate over actual, just letting people live their lives.
It's like when Liberace came out as gay. I'm like, really? Liberace? No way! Or Elton John. No way, not Elton John. No, are you kidding?
But
The
who
gayest
cares?
person in the world?
As well.
I'm just saying. It's like, why are people? Yeah, people are like, how are you shocked that Liberace's gay? Nobody was. How are you shocked that Paul Lynde was gay? Nobody was. Everybody knew it. Nowadays, it's like, oh, I'm so ashamed. No, it's an open secret. Even if you don't want to come out, it's still an open secret, Lindsay. Just be who you are. Stop being a fucking.
Well, it's too late.
phony.
You can't talk to him. He's dead.
I know it's.
Anyways,
Whatever.
our
Man.
next segue
You
is
couldn't hear
bad
me
pun.
before either. It isn't like you watched my show. All right, what do we spin? Sorry.
Bad pun. More jokes.
No, it just pisses me off. You have to make policy for the world, and you can't even be honest. Bad pun. Bad pun. Let's talk about the White House teleprompter guy. Lindsey Graham to me
Hello,
was always
Hangry.
a fraud, so I can't really be disappointed in somebody I always thought was a fraud. So, White House teleprompter guy. You know what's getting rich? We know that the Pentagon, because there was one guy to get rich. We did this story of poly market betting, which is you can bet on war, you can bet on just about anything anybody wants to put odds on. If there's a bookie out there willing to put odds out on it, you can bet on it at poly market. And we did a story a few weeks ago or a few months ago back about the Pentagon ordering pizza. So some enterprising guy built himself a little app that or found an app or whatever. He figured out that the Pentagon was ordering pizza for overnight sessions and they were going to war, and that meant we're going to war.
Yeah.
And he made a lot of money in poly marketing. And I told that story badly. There's ABCnews.com has a story about their teleprompter writing for Stinky the Clown speeches. The teleprompter operator, Catherine Falders, Aaron Katursky, Peter Chalambros, and Nicholas Kerr. Diaper Donnie does not run a tight ship. He basically just is out there to profiteer, and he's making money off, constantly trading on it, which is completely illegal, trading on oil futures and shit. But, of course, you're going to have, when you have absolutely no standards, you're going to hire people who are criminals. And longtime teleprompter operator is believed to have made tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands by placing bets on more than a dozen of Trump's speeches on the prediction market Kalshi. Federal investigators with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission found, sources familiar with the matter told ABC News. Let's get the person's name now. Gabrielle Perez, a technical assistant to the president, who has been operating Trump's teleprompter since 2016.
You get that bag, girl.
Right. Make some money off this shitbag, I guess. But now you're going to prison. Is in talks with federal regulators to settle allegations. Oh, it's not a girl.
Oh, it's not.
He
Okay.
used his
Too
inside
bad.
knowledge of it's Gabrielle. I thought it was a woman too. It's Gabriel. It should be Gabriel.
Gabriel.
It shouldn't be that high. It should be spelled different. Should be used his inside knowledge of the president's speeches to win more than $100,000, the sources said. According to sources, Galaxy alerted its regulator, the Commodities Future Trading Commission, to suspicious activity on its mentions market where users can bet on whether specific words, phrases, or topics are uttered during a public speech. Our surveillance team promptly flagged and referred these trades to the CFTC. There's somebody that regulates this shit, amazingly. And we are cooperating and assisting regulators. Kalshi's head of enforcement, Bobby D. Nault, said in a statement provided to ABC News. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Levitt, who has got the brains of a small rodent, told reporters Thursday afternoon, following ABC News report, that Perez has been put on unpaid administrative leave. Unpaid administrative leave. That's called being fired, I believe, most places. Might be looking for a new job or looking for a new country because you're going to prison, perhaps. Of course, Trump will just pardon him. They'll pardon him. Levitt said she spoke with Stinky about it, and he thought it was a disgrace. He made a decision himself to put Perez on unpaid leave. Oh, really? I wonder how much blackmail old Gabriel has in old Trumpy, right? How much inside shit? Well, it's so fast, Trump. You can't fire me. I know too much. I guarantee he knows too much. Levitt said he was unaware of any other White House staffer who has made such trades. Of course she's unaware. She's unaware of everything. She's just told what to say. The White House has strict ethics guidelines that we expect all staffers and officials. Strict guidelines. That's some funny shit there. Oh, here's a picture of this guy. He looks like, you remember James Lipton? The guy who did Inside the Actors Studio, and he would, he ran the Actors Studio at the Juilliard or some shit. Anyway, he's gone now, but bald guy with a beard, and he would interview actors.
Yeah, I think we even covered
Gabriel
him.
Perez. Yeah,
Gabriel
Perez looks exactly like him.
Oh, wow. Reborn.
They got a picture of him cleaning the teleprompter glass thing. The Bluetooth glass thing that's up there. A spokesperson, a spokesman for the CFTC declined to comment. In addition to February's State of the Union address, sources said CFTC and investigators discovered that Perez placed bets on more than a dozen Trump speeches over a 3-month period, including a December primetime address, a January speech at World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, and Trump's remarks in March during the Medal of Honor ceremony. Okay, once again, you clowns that... I'm going to cut the story short. It's kind of stupid that people do this stuff. The really stupid people are the people that got lots and lots of money, like athletes. Like, you got $1 million contract, play basketball in the NBA, and you're betting on the games you're playing in. Don't bet on them on your own account. Have a buddy with an account. Have him bet on it. This is why you got friends, man. This is why you got a posse, so they can bet shit for you. But this guy didn't have a posse. He didn't have a trusted confidant. He just put his own account, bet on it, and now he's in trouble. He's fired, and he's gone. And probably Trump will never let him go to prison because he's going to blackmail Trump. I guarantee he knows shit about Trump that you don't know and none of us know. There's your story. Before I do the next one, I have a bad pun. Of course, Trump can't actually read, so teleprompter guy doesn't really do anything. So what does he do? He puts a bunch of words up there that Trump just goes off script anyway.
I guess Gabrielle's second language isn't English or isn't Spanish. It's bluffing.
Right? Is that a pun? Close enough! Yay! I thought you were going to say his second language is bullshit, but that's probably his first language.
Every roll's a gamble. That's true.
We're going to talk about other nefarious assholes, and the most nefarious asshole.
One more pun. One more pun.
Oh, one more pun. Okay, sorry.
When he's in Vegas, everyone always hopes he checks out early.
Ooh.
There we go. More jokes. Okay. Yeah. Now you can go to your next story.
He doesn't have to go to Vegas. You get the thing. He can bet. I bet you Trump says this word in his speech because he says it 14 times. Because I'm the guy who enters the teleprompter. And let's talk about other nefarious assholes and one of your leading nefarious assholes in the world, Elon Musk. Oh yeah, everybody except billionaire wannabes hate Elon Musk. Trump, I guarantee Trump doesn't like him. Trump just tolerates him because I'm sure Leon has black on him too. Wisconsin Elector Commission. Wisconsin, come to the rescue, says Leon, or as we call him here, Ketamine Karen or Apartheid Clyde. Old Apartheid Clyde violated the bribery law. This is Rich Kremer from Wisconsin Public Radio, WPR.com, a source I trust. Wisconsin Elections Commission has referred 2 complaints against billionaire Elon Musk to the Brown County District Attorney's Office, saying it found probable cause to believe Musk broke state election bribery laws last year. Every state should be doing this, by the way. We know the federal government's not going to do shit, but the states can. 2 letters sent to Musk and Wisconsin residents who filed the initial complaints state that the Election Commission's bipartisan board voted 5-1. That means bipartisan means both parties, and only one guy was probably bribed. Last week on a motion finding probable cause that Musk violated the state's election bribery statute by making a social media post that offered $1 million to individuals who voted in the 2025 Wisconsin Supreme Court election in order to induce them to vote in that election. An effort that failed miserably. Not only did you break the law, Elon Musk, for no good reason, trying to influence an election has nothing to do with you. you South African piece of shit. Has nothing to do with you. Why are you bribing people? Nothing to do, and you lost. You lost resoundingly. Musk was heavily involved in backing former Republican Wisconsin Attorney General Brad Scheimel's campaign against current liberal Justice Susan Crawford. Musk and his groups connected to him gave more than $20 million to support Schimmel's campaign and offered $100 payments to residents who signed a petition opposing activist judges, which again is bribery. Musk also said he gave people in Green Bay and Eau Claire $1 million for signing the petition. Bribery. Wisconsin Elector Commission letter, however, appears to focus on a specific post from Musk and his social media platform on March 27, 2025, which he announced he would give a talk in Wisconsin at any event where only those who have voted in the Supreme Court election will be allowed in. I will also personally hand over 2 checks for $1 million of each in appreciation for you taking the time to vote, said Musk. Bribing people to vote against the law. That's your story. One more. A little ad. I'm sorry. They put some crap in the middle of the story, but there's more to it. He deleted the post the next day and replaced it with another stating that people who signed the petition in opposition to activist judges will be allowed in, and the $1 million payments were no longer just for those who voted. Democratic Attorney General Josh Call tried to stop Musk's $1 million giveaway, but his lawsuit was dismissed by a county circuit court, which seems like county circuit court. That's just some local bribe-taking creep. State Appeals Court and Wisconsin Supreme Court. At the event held in Green Bay, March 30th, 25, Musk handed out 2 large checks for $1 million. One of them went to state chair of Wisconsin College Republicans. It's not a fucking contest. It's just giving a fucking donation, man. With the Elections Commission's referral, it's up to Republican Brown County District Attorney David Lassie. Oh God, never mind. To decide whether or not to file criminal charges. All you had to see in that was Republican, and you know he's bribable because Republicans only give a shit about money. Oh, God damn it. You broke the law. Whoa, was that $1 million in that suitcase? Anyway. I think we'll go on vacation. I think the Bahamas are good this time of the year. Later. The commission revelations about Musk comes more than a year after the campaign watchdog group, Wisconsin Democracy Campaign, filed a lawsuit in Dane County Circuit Court. I wonder if this guy in the Brown County District Attorney is up for election at any time. So maybe we can find out who his opponent is. Attorney Jeff Mandel, the Madison-based liberal firm Law Forward, is representing the Democracy Campaign in the suit. He told WPR, "It's no surprise Election Commission referred the matter to the district attorney. We long believed that Elon Musk and 2 nonprofit organizations he controlled did in Wisconsin as part of the spring 2025 election was illegal. In fact, our civil complaint was filed 13 months ago. It is working its way through the courts. The case was transferred from the Dane County to Brown County, which Mandel said was firm disagreed with. You know, in Dane County, he's going to get prosecuted because Dane County, if you don't know anything about Wisconsin, that's where Madison is. So that's the liberal center. That's basically a liberal center of America, if you want to know the truth. But regardless of whether DA Lassie files charges, the commission's referral strengthens their argument. And regardless of how Brown County DA chooses to deal with this, we are confident in our case. Look forward to having our day in court. I say Madison's the liberal capital of America because that's where Bob LaFollette is from, the populist progressive in the early 20th century. Look up Bob LaFollette. He's a very famous liberal in the Wisconsin history. Anyway, let's have a pun about more puns. Sorry, what's that?
I should make that a bingo call. He talked about Wisconsin. By the way, guys, did you know he grew up in Wisconsin? Just in case you didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm a badger, in case you're wondering. Why I badger people. Because I'm a badger. You know why it's the badger state? Because once you cross the border, badgers everywhere. Everywhere badgers. Just can't. No. I've never seen a badger.
People say Elon Musk is a mad scientist. Do you think he relates to Dr. Jekyll? Because I've always heard that he benefited from having apartheid.
Oh. Ow! That was
Musk could tweet about my weight, so it would plummet too.
No more.
What do you call an Elon Musk? A divorced Elon Musk.
I don't know.
Elon
You call him
Musk.
a dick. How?
Elon Musk
I should've-
converted to Islam. Would he be Elon Musk? That's terrible.
Ah!
That one hurts
According
me.
to Leon,
All right. There we go. Let me say hello to everyone who was here because of our long stories. So,
Leon Musk, an anagram for low.
hello 2D Doug, hello
Low
Eric, hello
scum.
Hangry, hello Nico. Thank you for dropping by with your centrist acorn, trans rights acorn, polar bears, huge acorn, and a half-eaten acorn. Mmm, delicious. Okay, let's roll our segue for my stories. Oh man, that last
I was gonna make a poll for the last story, but it's a long one.
That last pun was just so bad. I'm still laughing about it. Okay. All right, the wheel. Can you not stop repeating the same? The wheel just wants us to tell jokes and puns all day. It looks like.
It's extra long. What you gotta do? You gotta go like 5 spins.
Alliteration headline for my next story. Oh, dear. Coming out of, well, the World Cup, as everyone probably knows already, England unfortunately did lose to Argentina. Not really surprised. Personally, they are the favorite. So, but the number 10 is having a little, their pride's a little hurt. So they're saying, we may have lost to Argentina, but the Falklands are still ours. This is from Millie Cook on The Independent. Downing Street has backed calls for FIFA to investigate whether Argentina players broke rules by waving a banner in support of their country's claims to the Falkland Islands and insisted the World Cup might not be ours, but the Falkland Islands definitely are. And they started crying, FIFA, they have my feelings, they made the Falkland Islands. we own that.
Oh no.
Poor Downing Street. How will they survive? Don't you have other shit to fix, like the heat wave or something? An international row was sparked when Argentine players held up a banner that read La Malvinas son Argentinas, which translates to the Falkland Islands are Argentinian, in the wake of their 2-1 victory over England in the World Cup semi-final. Tensions between the UK and Argentina boiled over following the football clash, with Argentina accusing a British warship of a illegal journey into its waters just hours after the victory. But number 10 claimed the journey was in accordance with international law and said Argentina was fully notified of the ship's movement, which was part of the routine logistics visit to Chile. The Prime Minister's official spokesperson said, the World Cup might not be ours, but the Falkland Islands definitely are. Our position is unchanged. Self-determination rests with the islanders. Our commitment to the Falklanders will never waver. She added that any action to be taken rests with FIFA, adding, we've said throughout that the politics should stay out of football. That's silly because as far as we're concerned, sports are political, right? They're just another war, another battle between countries in a way. The spokesperson also backed her. I mean, how can national teams competing against each other in a sport not be political? The fact that they're national teams makes it political. If it was just like, oh, we made a team of random good players from Europe in general, then it wouldn't be national, would it? So, either way, that's my opinion on sports. The spokesperson also backed remarks from Business Secretary Peter Kyle, who had said that the intervention from Argentina was entirely inappropriate, called for the football's governing body to investigate their actions. I saw the images this morning, and of course it's entirely inappropriate, he told Sky News. Politics should stay away from football. This is very clearly a principle of the World Cup, but any consequences that come from that is now a decision for FIFA. Speaking for the BBC, he added, we expect FIFA to undertake an investigation into this. I think it was certain to happen because it was such a egregious violation of the rules of not having political activity as part of the football. Turkistan also supports the idea of FIFA investigating Argentina players who displayed the banner. Downing Street says Sir Keir backed the calls of Mr. Kyle, number 10 added. FIFA spokesperson later said in the statement, as is standard procedure, FIFA's Independent Disciplinary Committee is currently assessing the match reports and consider the relevant circumstances before deciding on potential further steps based on FIFA disciplinary code. The team could face disciplinary action and a fine for violating FIFA rules spanning political messages on the pitch. Political tensions linger between Argentina and the UK over the Falkland Islands, which escalated into armed conflict in 1982 after Argentina invaded the island. Buenos Aires claimed sovereignty over the Falklands, which are about 8,000 miles from Britain and 300 miles from Argentina. Argentina's Vice President Victoria Villarreal described England as invaders and usurping pirates in the build-up to the semi-final and tweeted a victory message in full time that said it wasn't just another match, alongside a video of what appeared to be Argentinian soldiers. Yeah, like I said, it's political. They can keep fighting about it not being political, but sports are political. Argentina's Vice President did that later on Wednesday night, the 15th of July. She shared images of the players holding the banner along with the message, which translated to "The Falklands are Argentine. They banned bringing them to the stadium and forgot that we carry them in our blood and in our hearts." The intervention came as Pablo Cuerno, Argentina's foreign minister, accused the Royal Navy of the military incursion into Argentine waters in a statement hours after the game ended. He claims the HMS Medway, an offshore patrol vessel based in the Falkland Islands, had entered Argentina's waters earlier in July without formally notifying the government. In his statement, he said formal notes of protest had been lodged with the British Embassy to express the strongest objection to the action. But number 10 hit back, claiming he had notified Argentina of the planned trip. I guess you weren't notified there, Mr. Pablo Cuerno, I guess.
Whatever.
Anyways, I could read more about this back and forth, right? They said this and they said this. Argentina rights for... If I can have my own input on this, I kind of am sided with Argentina here, mostly because I'm always against the English colonialism. But unfortunately, right, if you want to side with the people in the Falklands, they did have a referendum. I think we said in 2022, where they're like, "Do you want to join Argentina?" And they said no. So sadly, the people in the Falklands still see themselves as British citizens. So. Yeah,
because Argentina has a fucked up government, and they sheltered Nazis for 50 years. Don't forget that.
Falklands War hero Simon Weston, who was injured serving in the conflict during the bombing of the RFA's Sir Galahad, said the players had cheapened their victory with this stunt. He told The Independent that seeing the banner wave caused him great sadness at the lack of professionalism, the lack of maturity of Argent. Yeah, footballers are very mature people. You know, they never destroy entire cities when they win or lose a match. Very mature people, the footballers out there. It also made me feel very sad for the Falkland Islanders, who have made it clear who they want to govern them. It's not for others to tell people who they should align with. That's called freedom. It's called a democracy, he said. Yes. There's my story on... a very non-story, right? It's not very serious, but, you know.
Or as the headline should read, right? As the headline should read, fanciful Falklands feelings, fix football failing from FIFA Final Four. Or as the story actually, the headline's longer than the story. The story says, England Football Commission is quoted as saying, "Wah." That's it. We lost again. Who cares? I got another sidebar. I watched a stupid story about this guy. Oh, baseball's terrible. Baseball's terrible. Blah, blah, blah. I know what's the headline. It's like, really? I want to see what this guy thinks about baseball being terrible. Never mind, he's a Cincinnati Reds fan. He's mad because his team sucks, and that's all the video was. It was about his team sucked. It wasn't about baseball. It was about his team being bad. And that's what I said. Dude, you're just mad because your team sucks.
There's something really funny about the English saying, oh my God, it's such poor form to bring up that thing on the stage. I think it's also bad sportsmanship to go, wah, wah, we still in the Falkland Islands. You didn't hurt our feelings. We still win. We still win on the national stage. I'm like, you could have, if you really wanted to pick the high road, you would have said nothing about it. You would have just brushed it off.
England, again, their opinion counts more than anybody else's. He's just so precious. It's so precious. Oh, our opinion. We need our most official royal opinion on this.
We actually believe you are losers. You still lost. We're better than you.
Yeah, you still
okay,
lost
my next story.
Fucking game, man. Just because your entire government supports the team, you know, it doesn't mean you get to freaking cheat. Sorry, go ahead.
My next story is some good news out of the UK, which is heading for a bumper butterfly season. This is from Emily Bayment on The Independent. And even a painted lady summer. Conservationists say as they urge people to join a national count for butterflies. The wildlife charity Butterfly Conservation said that a warm, dry spring this year has raised hope that butterflies could be out in force this summer. But it wants members of the public to join its annual big butterfly count from July 17th, which is starting today, to August 9th to help reveal exactly how many butterflies are faring this year. The annual Citizen Science Survey helps scientists understand where some of the country's most common butterflies and day-flying moths are doing well, struggling or moving because of climate change and change to habitat. Butterfly Conservation said heat waves, warm dry spells, and the occasional heavy rain have created ideal conditions for butterfly breeding and caterpillar growth. The small coppers and holly blues, already seen in large numbers, and peacock, red admiral, and brimstones have promising start this year. Experts at the charity also say there are signs of possible painted lady summer when the migrant butterfly arrive in the UK in large numbers, but they need people across the country to tell them what they are seeing to know for sure. Thank you for the 10 stream streak, Nico. The hopes for a good summer for the winged insects mark a reversal from just 2 years ago, when the charity declared a butterfly emergency after the 24 count delivered the worst results in the scheme's history. A hot, dry, and sunny 2025 boosted the fortunes of many species, and this year's spring, one of the hottest on record, could prove a boon for butterflies. Maybe the butterflies will take over the earth after we're gone. But butterfly conservation say this is not guaranteed. The charity warns it comes against long-term declines. Oh, the holly blue butterfly is so beautiful. Thank you, Eric, for the sub. I appreciate it. Thank you for supporting our anti-AI news. And butterflies, I guess. 4/5, 80% of the butterfly species have declined in the past 50 years. As a result of habitat loss, pollution, and climate change, the conservationist said. Butterfly Conservation's head of engagement, Kate Mary, that's a great name for somebody who loves taking care. I'm Kate Mary and I love butterflies. After the colorful spring with seemingly lots of beautiful butterflies appearing across the UK, it's tempting to assume we're heading for a bumper summer. And we'd love nothing more, as most of our butterfly species have undergone long-term declines. But a bright spring is only ever part of the story, which is why we need people out there taking part in the big butterfly count this summer. That's it. I'm going on holiday to the UK, and then when they say, why are you here? I want a 6 month, well, I guess not a 6 month, I only need a 2-week visa. Why are you here for a 2-week visa?
Yeah.
I want to count all the butterflies. I want to help the butterfly conservationists, so I'm going to come here to count all your butterflies. That's right. But the bright spring is only about part of the story. Oh, we already said that one. We generally don't know how this year will unfold, and the only way to find out is for people to tell us what they're seeing in their own gardens and green spaces. He added, butterflies are an icon of summer, and more importantly, key indicators of the UK's biodiversity and environmental health. Every single person that takes part in the big butterfly count and submits their sighting is helping us to see how these pollinators are doing, which in turn helps conservationists build a wider picture of how all insects are faring. To take part in the big butterfly count, people just need to spend 15 minutes in any sunny outdoor area spot, such as their garden, park, or local countryside, and report their sightings. You can check out, you can download the free Big Butterfly Count, which I think is an app you can download, or you can go to bigbutterflycount.org in order to say, I counted 20 butterflies in my garden alone. I am basically the butterfly queen. I'm going to go count butterflies in my garden and see how many there are. Though I did see bats last evening when I went downstairs to get my midnight snack. There are still bats outside sweeping in and eat all the mosquitoes, hopefully. They were very low, too. They weren't just up in the sky. They were actually in the garden going chirp, chirp, chirp and eating all the mosquitoes. Really, I love bats. Anyways, that's my side tangent about butterflies.
When I see butterflies, I want to see what they're up to. Because
yeah, exactly. All the garden clubs, yeah. All the garden clubs are going to
be, eggs on my leaf. I have to, unfortunately, I don't want them eating my crops. All right. The headline should read. Yeah. The headline should read: Big British Butterfly Boost. There you go.
Instead of the big British Bake Off, it's the Big British Butterfly Boost.
Yes, and I sent you a video, so that was always
the Big British Bounce Butterfly Off. Bounce Butterfly.
Butterfly Boof Boff Beef Boff. Okay, next.
All right, next segue.
Story, not so news dumpy. It's only a shorter one, I think. But we're going to talk about the Epstein files because we will not allow this thing to be buried. You guys passed a law, and then you just as part hypothetical. The Justice Department is ignoring the law. So let's see what these idiots have to say about it. This is from CNN.com. Alejandra Yaramillo. Vance says Trump administration screwed up communications around the Epstein files. Let's see what the Sarah Palin of Dan Quayle's has to say. Vice President J.D. Vance said the Trump administration absolutely screwed up the comms, as they absolutely screwed up everything, around the Jeffrey Epstein files and should have released everything immediately. Well, no shit. Why aren't they released now? You still got time. It isn't like, oh, we can't release them now. Yes, you can. You can still do it. There's plenty of time. It isn't like you got clock expired. There's no expiration on releasing these files. There was a clock where you had to release them, but you can still release them, right? Right? You know that, right? Right? You got that part of it's still in your control. Anyway, I say this with all candor, says the guy who lies constantly. Like we absolutely screwed up the comms of the Epstein files like we did. Vance said on the Joe Rogan experience. Of course, the Joe Rogan experience is you will experience being lied to and treated like you don't have a brain. That's the experience here. We'll get there. It's like, really? Joe Rogan just realized that Trump lies after all this time. Man, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's basically a talking pile of mashed potatoes. That's what he is. Anyway, let's get back to the story. When asked whether there had been undue influence in trying to keep the files under wraps. You think so? But let's get back to this. I say this with all candor, like we did absolutely screw up the comms of the Epstein files like we did. When asked whether there had been undue influence in trying to keep the files under wraps. But I do think the reason we screwed up the comms is because we were trying to hide something. No! Bullshit. Vance said in a podcast released Wednesday. Vance comments come as the administration has been dogged by blowback from Stinky the Clown's own base over its handling of the Epstein files, and for what went wrong, the vice president pointed to the then Attorney General Pam Bondi's public comments suggesting a purported client list was on her desk, while he noted that the binders of information handed out to every social media influencers in February 2025 were largely documents that were already released. So again, chicanery, shell game, trying to fucking fool the general public. I don't know why you defend this shit and call it, oh, it's just a big mistake. I don't know what the purpose of it was, but I know the effect was to make people mistrust the entire effort, Vance said, adding, well, there you go, having some candor, adding that he didn't think Bondi was doing anything malicious. Bullshit, she was. She's a malicious human being. Don't you remember what she said about the Dow being 50,000? Good Lord. I think Pam was trying to respond to the political moment. No, that's not her fucking job. Her job, here's her job. The Attorney General is the Chief Prosecuting Officer of the United States of America. Her job is not to serve the president. Her job is not a political office. And her job is definitely not to tell us what the Dow is, right? The Attorney General is touting the Dow. I've never even heard anything like that. So, J.D. Vance is a pile of shit. The vice president reiterated that he's one of the OG Epstein conspiracy theorists. So why aren't you out there leading the train? Why aren't you out there beating the drums? I've probably gone down every single rabbit hole, he lied. As the original sin of the Epstein investigation dated back to 2007 and 2008, argument was way too narrow and faulting former U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, who negotiated a controversial plea with Epstein. Don't forget, Pam Bondi was in Florida at the same time. She was part of this, where they dropped all the Epstein investigations. When she got, seriously, guys, If there was a broader conspiracy, and you know my view is that there probably was, the evidence that existed in 2007, that was the opportunity to get it out. There's still an opportunity, dude. Asked about theories that Epstein may have been part of Israel's Mossad spy agency, Vance said, yeah, Mossad or CIA or some other deep state. Whatever, man. Whatever, Vance. You're full of shit.
Say whatever you want.
He clearly had connections to the upper highest levels of American intelligence. He clearly had connections to the highest levels of Israeli intelligence. Yeah. You can't have connections to the highest level of Israeli intelligence unless you're an intelligence operative. That's how that works. I don't know how he can get away with saying this thing that's obviously a fact. You're the vice president. You have access to all this information. You have a high security clearance in government, and if you don't, there's something wrong with our government. If the vice president can't get a security clearance, the best one, right? He's got to have the biggest one. He has access to all this shit anytime he wants, by the way. So again, if we're just sitting here going, well, you know what? He had access to the highest levels of Israeli intelligence. That means he was an intelligence operative. This is the vice president confirming he was an intelligence operative. It's so clear. It's so clear to me. Vance also defended Stinky's role in releasing the Epstein file. Don't defend this piece of shit. You don't like him either, Vance. Stop lying. Trump could have killed the congressional effort to compel it. They tried to kill it. He tried to, dude. He tried. He didn't have enough votes. Remember? You remember this, right? Why are they acting like Trump is innocent? Still, Vance conceded that it took longer than it should have for the administration to release the files. Oh, we're not covering it up as we're actively covering it up. He's actively covering it up to this day and saying that we're not covering it up. Man, this guy infuriates me. If we want people to say we mishandled Epstein's files, guilty. We did mishandle it. We did mishandle it. You are continuing to mishandle it. This very day this is not a thing in the past, right? This is not something that happened that we can move on from. This is something that we have to correct now, that you can correct, JD Vance. All you gotta do, 25th Amendment, Trump's out of his fucking mind. All you gotta do is get half the cabinet on your side. You can be president tomorrow. Look at you. You can be president of the United States, JD Vance. Think about that. And you can do all this shit you're talking about. Release all the Epstein files, fire Todd Blanche, fire all these assholes. You hate Trump. We know you hate Trump. We know it. It's in you. Anyway, I think that we should have just dropped everything at the very beginning. We should have just done it as quickly as possible, says JD Vance. And the final word in this article, let's have us a hypothetical, which it shouldn't be too hard to figure out, right? Because I've been screaming them this whole time. Hey, anyway. Jesus.
Hypothetically, all of these Republicans, which I can't even consider them Republicans anymore, because
what are they?
Even ever since like the Tea Party, right? Republicanism has been completely dead. Been completely dead.
Ever since
all these
Obama got elected,
spineless demagogues who. I remember. I heard this yesterday. I was listening to another podcast about this. Right, a lot of people, Republicans who used to have backbones. The only reason they don't have them anymore is so that they can be relevant. Because according to Lindsey Graham, before he died, the reason he basically backtracked on anything he's ever believed in and his anti-Trump
power
rhetoric is because if he was anti-Trump actively, he would not have any voice in Congress, which is a great indicator of fascism right there, right? Oh, the president doesn't listen to me because I said he sucks. So now my state has zero power. That's what's actually happening right now. That's why all of these Republicans have no backbones, because Trump will actually blackball them out of Congress, which is not how the balance of power works. That's not how the balance of power should work, right? The Congress should have its own power by itself without any help from the president. And for some reason, they've just let it waste away. No, we need the president to like us. No, you don't. You never should have needed the president to like you. You're your own power.
Well, it's as if Patrick Henry, Patrick Henry back in the day said, "Give me liberty or blackmail me into submission," because that's all it really was. Right? I don't care. Yeah. I only care about my own power, and that's it. Fuck you all. Fuck y'all. Fuck the United States. Fuck the Constitution. My power is the only thing that matters. Yeah. Fuck you, asshole. That JD Vance. Like I said, JD Vance talks a good game. What is he really going to do? Because we know at some point, I mean, Trump's going to drop dead in office. I mean, there's no way he lives beyond 2028. There's no, this fucking guy's fading, right? You can see the signs. There's nothing left of this guy. They're keeping him alive with drugs and fucking hope. They're just pumping him with whatever. They had that little controversy about the 79-year-old.
It's like Stalin,
drug, right? It's like Mitch McConnell. That guy's checked out.
I don't know if you've ever seen
Mitch
that film.
For years.
I think the film.
Yeah,
I think the film's name is
Stalin,
Who Killed Stalin or whatever. And
Killed
it's just
Stalin,
like
yeah. That was. I'm in the middle of watching. It's a comedy.
Yeah. It's a comedy, but it might have been a real event that actually happened. You know, where they're like, "Oh shit, he died. What are we gonna do?" Because they're all cronies. They were cronies for so long that they literally did not know what to do. After the big Contra was dead. What are we supposed to do? We need somebody to tell us what to do.
Khrushchev and all of them, man. And of course, Khrushchev was totally hated Stalin. He was really anti-Stalin. Yeah. And then he took his shoe off and banged it on the thing. That was my only story.
Okay.
It was a shorter story, but I had a lot to say about it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because JD Vance, come on, man. We know you're trying, right? I don't like you. I don't like your politics. I think you're a full of shit liar. But you can do better than Trump. It ain't even that hard, right? All you can do is fire all the assholes and have them prosecuted. By the way, have them prosecuted. Have your Justice Department prosecute these criminals.
And that's honestly the.
Fire everybody.
And if there are any actual Republicans left in the government, we don't hear about them, right? Because they've been blacklisted, I guess, by Trump.
Right. Or they've been suppressed. A lot of people have been suppressed. They're like, oh yeah, at least you vote Republican.
There's not,
that kind of thing.
Like, generally, right, there's nothing wrong with a Republican, right? But because Republicans don't exist anymore, there's a lot of things wrong with the Republicans.
I used to have my favorite podcasts I watch are old conservatives. They're still conservatives, right? They didn't change their politics. Their party left them and went with Trump. They don't have a party anymore. They joined the Democrats because they don't have a party. And they're kind of pathetic. And I laugh at it because they're sitting there going, "Good, I don't have a party." Anyway.
All right, let's go to our next segue is sarcasm for my culture news.
I feel culture.
Yes.
Like
this
yogurt.
Is coming from The Guardian by the Associated Press as well. Ava DuVernay, which is one of my favorite directors. Fun fact, she became a director at 40, so it's never too late to become a director. Who is the filmmaker behind Selma and the 13th, will focus on the 14th Amendment for a new film out later this year as Trump targets those protected by it. Yes. Ava DuVernay announced yesterday on the 16th of July that she has made a documentary for Netflix on the 14th Amendment, which gave liberty and rights to formerly enslaved people following the Civil War and has come under legal attack. Netflix said on the 16th of July that it will release 14th later this year. The film will mark a return to nonfiction for DuVernay, the filmmaker of Selma and Origin, and a follow-up to DuVernay's 2016 film, The 13th. Her examination of the legacy of the 13th Amendment, which abolished slavery. The 14th Amendment has been a prominent target of Trump's. On the first day of his second term, he signed an executive order that would have heavily restricted birthright citizenship as protected by the amendment. In June, the Supreme Court struck down this order by a 6-3 vote. And you can already guess who the three people who voted for it are, because they're being blackmailed. The 14th Amendment...
bought and paid for. Sam Alito, bought and paid for. Go ahead, sorry.
The 14th Amendment, ratified in 1868, during Reconstruction, states all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. The constitutional amendment nullified the 1857 Supreme Court decision Dred Scott v. Sanford, which held that those descended from enslaved people couldn't be citizens. Yeah, go back to Africa, where you don't even know the language anymore. Good luck. I mean, some people did agree to do that in Liberia, right? But, DuVernay said her film will detail how the 14th Amendment became a permanent argument. It will feature politicians, historians, and cultural voices. The 13th asked who gets caged, the 14th asked who gets counted, DuVernay said in a statement. This is not a film about the past tense of freedom. I'm not interested in asking you to look back. The film asks what kind of country is being written beneath our feet now, while we're busy believing the stories have all been told. Chief Justice John Roberts, writing for the court, upheld the protections of the amendment, which makes a citizen of anyone born in the country with very limited exceptions. Citizenship, then and now, was the right to have rights, to freely participate in our political community. The framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every free-born person in this land, wrote Roberts, and we keep that promise today. Trump had vowed to continue the contest, the Supreme Court's ruling, following the decision he wrote on Truth Social. This miscarriage of justice will destroy America if they don't change this absolutely insane decision. Wow, he said words that mean nothing. So there you go. Look forward to watching probably a really great documentary. I already know it's going to be good if it's by Ava DuVernay about why this happened, why it's there, and why it's never going to go away. Because the first thing fascists want to do is take away your rights, and you can't let them. Any rights. 0 rights shall be taken away. Once they've been given, you cannot take away. That's fascism, in my opinion. Give me your sarcasm. This should be easy enough.
Sarcasm. At least, let's see. Yes, at least our arts have not been hijacked by this jackass Trump, right? This is the problem with Trump in the first, right? All of our fucking lies, we got to respond to his fucking gaslighting bullshit. And this is another one. Just another one. We're all got to get up in arms because he invented this bullshit. I got to stop people from getting votes for other people. And that's all it is. It's just him trying to prevent elections from happening.
All those immigrants, all those people who are born here and then instantly citizens, they're the ones voting against me. He's created an entire hypothetical group of people that are against him, and then he's taking away all the rights to get rid of those people, whatever they are, wherever this mystical group of people is.
Yeah, the people that supported Trump after he's gone, I don't want to hear their opinion about anything ever again. You don't allow an opinion on anything because you fucked up the entire. You all can just go straight to hell. Right. I did find a.
Yes, I've got your video.
Video, yeah.
And thank you, Mocha. Hello. Good morning. Thank you for your daily acorn, your Pokeball acorn. I hope you catch something good with it. We've got a mixed metaphor.
Cool. Mixed metaphor for this day in history. What did happen this day in history? Oh, let me scroll to the bottom. I always I do it chronologically, starting from the past. The distant past, 1453 is a long damn time ago. French forces routed the English. Too bad they didn't get to play in the finals of the... well, no, they're playing in the semifinals. No, they're playing in the consolation game.
Yeah, the third place.
The consolation game in Miami. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, third place. They're fighting for third place, basically, for the bronze medal.
France can commemorate this today, right? They can commemorate 1453, the Battle of Castilian, the concluding battle of the 100 Years' War, which was more than 100 years. And I guess if you got drafted into the 100 years.
Yeah.
When did they start calling it the 100 Years' War?
The big joke for European historians about the 100 Years' War is that it never actually ended, right? Like, there's no actual time where it was done.
Let's just call it the Million Years' War.
It was the last battle, I guess.
Let's call it the 100 Years' War.
Supposedly.
Let's call today's the third place game. Let's call it the third place game. Let's call it the 100 Hours War, because that's what it sounds. It seems like a football match takes. Sorry, the 100 Minutes War. How about that? 100 Minutes War. Let's call it that. 1683, the Turkish forces began the siege of Vienna against the Habsburg Holy Roman Empire. Leopold I. Okay, and if you got religion running your country, man, you got problems. Nothing but problems. 1963, John Jacob Astor, founder of the renowned family of Anglo-American capitalists as in plunderers, business leaders and philanthropists. Well, at least he was a philanthropist. Chris Astor's, they did die on the Titanic. Not him. I think it was son or his grandson did. Anyway, John Jacob Astor was born this day in Waldorf, Germany. Why are they called Anglo-American capitalists? Maybe it should be called, is Germany part of Anglo-Anglican thing? I don't know if it is or not, man. Weird. 1860, I don't know how that works. I don't know how that ethnicity stuff works with Anglo. What is it even a thing, man? 1862, Abraham Lincoln wartime Congress passed the Second Confiscation Act, precursor to the Emancipation Proclamation. Oh, by the way, Stinky the Clown is actually letting the Emancipation Proclamation, the 13th and 14th Amendment, the original documents, he's letting them be deteriorated by the sun at this very moment. Yes, he's killing the original documents. I don't know what he thinks that accomplishes. It doesn't erase them from the Constitution. What he thinks erasing the original documents and original signatures, fading them into oblivion, is going to kill them as law. That's the kind of shit this piece of crap is doing as president of the United States. Fading historical documents. Actively, I'm not kidding. He's actively fading historical documents. Actual amendments to the Constitution. He's fading them, literally fading them with light. 1992, American mechanical engineer Willis Carrier completed drawings for, you can look it up, man, for what would become the first modern air conditioner, something France has not keyed into yet. It's been a while. Yes, air conditioning. It's a thing. Look into it. 1918, the Carpathia, the ocean liner that rescued the survivors of the Titanic. We were just talking about the Astors, who man and wife drowned, even though they were rich and they could have gone on a lifeboat. They stayed and drowned. Rescued the survivors of the Titanic, and shamefully, there were some men on there while they let women and children drown. Was sunk by a German U-boat during the survivors of the Titanic. The Carpathia was sunk by a German U-boat during World War I. So 6 years after the Titanic sunk, the Carpathia, who rescued the Titanic survivors, went to the bottom of the ocean too. 1944, German Field Marshal Erwin Rommel was seriously injured when his car was forced off the road by British fighter bombers. Of course, Rommel was the best renowned German general who tried to assassinate Hitler and ended up doing, putting a bullet in his own head. But the British probably tried to assassinate him on the field. 1945, Joseph Stalin, Winston Churchill, and Harry S. Truman met at the Potsdam Conference, the last Allied Summit Conference in World War II, which was coming to an end very shortly, as we had, again, weeks before Hiroshima and Nagasaki were about to happen. 1955, Disneyland, an amusement park featuring attractions based on the creations of Walt Disney and Disney Company, opened in Anaheim, California. I'm still impressed. I was at the day back in the 80s with the what do you call them, robots, automatons, or whatever you call them, that still function, still had mechanics working to this day, special mechanics that only work on these things that I guarantee break down all the time after all these years. 1996, TWA Flight 800 exploded and crashed in the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Long Island, killing all 230 people on board. The U.S. government determined that an electrical short circuit caused a mixture of fuel air to ignite within one of the plane's fuel tanks. Nobody has ever bought that explanation, ever. I still don't buy the explanation. It was right after. To me, I'd say it was a terrorist attack, but for some reason, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't buy the explanation. Let's put it that way. 1998, the United Nations completed this statute establishing an international criminal court, which began sittings 4 years later. United Nations trying to conduct trials. Good luck with that one. 2009, Walter Cronkite took his last breath as he died at the age of 92. He said, "That's the way it is," and went like that. And it was a longtime anchor at CBS Evening News.
No way.
Walter Cronkite was the news anchor my entire childhood. That's right. From 1962 to 1981, 19 years. From the year I was born to the year I graduated high school, Walter Cronkite signed off. in 2009 at the age of 92, which is a long, healthy life for a guy who was the most trusted name in news. There will never be another Walter Cronkite. 2014 Malaysian flight. I'm just saying, there will never, maybe not in my lifetime, there won't be. The news anchors now are just pretty boys, right? And Walter Cronkite was not a pretty boy. He was an ugly motherfucker. Just kidding. No, I have no opinion on what he looked like. Probably a fine-looking man, for all I know. He's just a guy. He's the guy that gave me the news. Trusting him. 2014, this is a great day for, this is why I don't trust all these fucking, why is it a coincidence? Again, a Malaysian flight, the one that disappeared, we still don't know what happened to it. That happened in 2014. Oh no, this is a different one.
I'm pretty sure we do
This is
know.
a different Malaysian. Oh, wait, this is a different Malaysian flight. Another Malaysian Airlines flight. A different one. Malaysian airline flight crashed into a separatist-held territory in Ukraine, killing all 290 people on board. A Dutch investigation later determined that aircraft was shot down by guess who? Russia. Yeah. Putin killing people. Oh, sorry, my bad. Fuck you, Russia. I'm sorry, fuck you, Putin, your bullshit. 2020, another sad day as John Lewis died at the age of 80, American civil rights leader and political activist who was in Congress from the early 70s until he passed away, who helped lead a march that was halted by police violence on Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama in 1965, a landmark event in the history of the civil rights movement. John Lewis is the guy you see actively getting his head caved in by a billy club, getting knocked unconscious by a cop for wanting to vote. That's the law he broke. Voting, which you are allowed to do as a U.S. citizen, all he wanted to do, and he got his head caved in. Yeah, that's the United States. That's the country he celebrated a couple of weeks ago. In 1918, the end of the House of Romanov, as we saw Anastasia screamed in vain on this day. In 1918, Tsar Nicholas II and his wife Alexandra, their 5 children, and 4 loyal servants were executed by Bolshevik forces in Yekaterinburg. The killings ended more than 300 years of Romanov rule and became one of the defining episodes of the Russian Revolution, fueling decades of rumors that one or more of the royal children, especially Anastasia, which we have
Sorry,
proven did
they're
not
all
survive.
dead.
They're
All in a
executed.
grave, mass grave.
Right. Again,
Very
we
sad.
don't necessarily give a shit about rich royals, but it really sucks when you execute children. You're kind of a shitbag if you're doing that. Spanish Civil War began. Again, children cannot help what family they were born into. We can just let them off the hook, can't we? I think we can. The Spanish Civil War began on this day, commemorated by, our favorite dead guy, Generalissimo Francisco Franco, still dead.
Still dead.
That's right. Sparked a bloody civil war that lasted in 1939 when the nationalist Francisco Franco assumed power. I know nothing about the Spanish Civil War except for the rock group The Clash, which again, you never underestimate the only band that mattered, The Clash. With their song Spanish Bombs, I had to look all that shit up, what the hell he's talking about. Now I know all about Federico Lorca, the Spanish Revolution, and the Spanish Civil War. And of course, I knew about Francisco Franco from Saturday Night Live. Never heard of the guy before he died. And he's still dead. To this very day, still dead. Yep, still dead. I checked on it, he's still dead. Adam Smith is also still dead. He died in this day in 1790 in Edinburgh. Socialist, Scottish social philosopher, political economist Adam Smith died in Edinburgh. Best known for his seminal work, The Wealth of Nations. He invented economics as a study. He is the economics... What do you want? Grand Poobah, let's call him that. The first comprehensive systemization of a political economy. He invented economics. Mark Burnett's birthday, British author and television producer and director, born in 1960s. He's probably still around. Happy birthday, Mark Burnett. Never heard of you. Lucio Tan, Filipino entrepreneur, born in 1933. Art Linkletter, American broadcasting host. He hosted a show for kids called Kids Say the Darndest Things or something like that. It was very funny. He interviews kids and kids tell you all the secrets about their parents. And it was great because parents are like, oh my God, she just told the whole world. It was great. Ismail, the Shah of Iran. Ismail the First, the Shah of Iran, born in 1487. He was the first Shah of Iran, I imagine. Why you need a Shah, I have no idea, but I'll never understood why people need a royal family. Don't understand it. National days today. It's National Yellow Pig Day. Appears to be something about history and social awareness. National Tattoo Day. National Lottery Day. I don't get the lottery. To me is just a tax on poor people. I have no chance. I have a 1 in 8 billion chance, but I'll play 20 numbers today. Yay! There goes $20 today. That rich people don't have to pay in taxes. You're paying it for them. National Wrong Way Corrigan Day. Wrong Way Corrigan, the guy who was going to fly from East Coast to California and went the wrong direction, ended up in Europe. And National Peach Ice Cream Day. Yeah, so that's in. And National Days, what's a peach ice cream recipe? You can just buy it. So that's your stuff for today. Coming up tomorrow, if you want to know, it's National Tropical Fruit Day, National Sour Candy Day, and National Caviar Day. Get them fish eggs out. So those are your mispronunciations, your non-haikus, your sarcasm, your alliteration headlines for Friday, July 17th, before peach ice cream. There you go.
All right. We got all of our history. Let's get our metaphor. The end of the House Romanov was like the final flicker of a once mighty candle, as the architect of the invisible hand constructs bridges of prosperity and celebrating the quirky whimsy of 17 as it pirouettes through the world of mathematics. There we go. There's 3 things from the same history.
That's a long metaphor.
And mixed. That's the metaphor for today. A lot of things happened today. There's candles, there was bridges, and there was pirouetting. Okay, that's all that happened today in history.
All right. Ian.
All right, there is one International UN observance tomorrow, and only tomorrow. Nelson Mandela International Day. Let's celebrate the man, the myth, the legend, and inventor of, I guess, time travel. Because everyone remembers the Mandela effect, right? I thought he died in prison. No, he didn't. He became president.
No, I never understood that.
He was basically, yeah, he was the first. Yeah, that's fine.
Black guy,
Let's celebrate not only Nelson Mandela, but what he stood for, right? His peace. I mean, there's whole things in here, right? There's rules. You can get the Mandela Prize. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison in the course of his struggle. Throughout his life, he advocated for fair and humane treatment of all, including prisoners. That's right. Even the people in jail right now who committed crimes, they're already serving their time. Right, that's what prison's for, serving time. So treat them properly. They're still human beings.
It says torture under sentence. It says years in prison. It's like torture.
I don't care if you murdered 10,000 people and you got, 3 counts of 50 years in prison, which means you're never leaving. It's basically a life sentence, right? You still deserve human rights. Okay? Let's not lower ourselves down. And also,
the basic human rights, 4 squares. That's 3 square meals. Give them 2 square meals.
Continue fighting for peace. Right? Nelson Mandela, all he ever wanted is for people to stop killing each other and fighting each other for bullshit. That doesn't matter. Let's focus on climate change. I'm sure that's what, if Nelson Mandela was alive today, that's what he would say. He would say, can you please focus on saving the planet and stop fighting over bullshit? Thank you.
Let me add this. The train is in the station. Get your umbrellas. Get your purses. Get your stinking phones. And especially your earbuds. Those cordless earbuds. We find 50 of those every weekend. Get all your stuff. The train will not leave until Monday. That's it for the week.
Yes.
Sorry.
And if you want, you can go look up one of his speeches. He has many. And if you need inspiration for why we need to continue celebrating Nelson Mandela's
remember Steve Biko while you're at it too, because he deserves to be remembered. Yeah, so there you go. The guy who actually died in police custody. Anyway.
This has been Allison here from the Netherlands and Roger from the East Coast of the US as we tie up another week, our 29th week of the year, and we will see you on Mucking Fun Day for more news. Do not doom scroll over the weekend. We will have you covered on Mucking Fun Day. Anything you need to know that's going on, we will tell you on Mucking Fun Day. Also, thank you, Amlin, for your rotted acorn. Thank you, everyone who's here for the stream or is following us on Before Coffee Podcast. Subscribe to us on Before Coffee Podcast on YouTube. Do both of those things, please, so that number can go up and we can be happy with our anti-AI news message. And we appreciate everyone on Patreon for supporting us under the Before Coffee supporter tier. Take care of yourselves out there. And here is our mic drop moment.
On the 18th of July 1938, American pilot Douglas Corrigan landed in Ireland from New York, despite filing a flight plan to Long Beach in California. Welcome.
He got lost, did he?
History
got
pod.
Lost on his way. Yeah.
Corrigan
We are
was
not
a
history
qualified
pod.
aircraft mechanic and pilot with experience dating back to the 1920s. He'd even worked on Charles
And he got
Lindbergh's
lost on the way
Spirit
to
of Success in
Ireland.
1927.
He never figured out how to read a
Interested in
compass.
making
Poor
a
guy.
solo transatlantic flight.
He doesn't know how the GPS... Well, I
He
guess GPS didn't
subsequently
exist yet.
purchased
But
and modified a Curtiss
One of those
Robin
satellites in
monoplane,
1938.
equipping it with additional
he didn't
fuel
understand
tanks
how
and
longitude and
reinforcing
latitude
the
work or
frame.
didn't know how to follow the
However,
stars.
he
Yeah,
Like
was
compass.
repeatedly denied permission
Compass,
to
man,
make a
that's what he needed.
transatlantic flight, as officials were
I
concerned
go west
about
or
the
east. I don't know.
aircraft's
I can't read a
suitability.
compass.
On the morning of the 17th of July,
At least they have a lot of
1930,
pictures of
Corrigan
him.
took off from Floyd Bennett Field in Brooklyn,
Remember those
did
days
exist.
California.
when you
Visibility was
didn't
low
really
due
know
to
if you were
cloud
blinking in a
cover, and
photo
Corrigan
until
later
2
claimed
days
that a
later or something. It's like, oh shit, I was
navigational error
blinking
caused
in that
by
Polaroid
photo.
length
some poor
cameras.
weather conditions
Polaroid
that
length,
led
not
him to
Polaroid,
fly
but
east instead of
Kodak
west.
cameras did
He
exist in
continued over the
1938.
Atlantic
Yeah, but it
Ocean
still
and
took a while
landed
to
at
process
Baldonnel
them.
Aerodrome near
And it was
Dublin
like-
Now you
after
just took it down to
approximately
photography
28
lab.
hours in the
You can
air.
have back
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Authorities on both sides of the
That's what I'm
Atlantic
saying. It took
questioned Corrigan
days to
upon his
get-
arrival, and although many believed
So he,
that
oh,
the
I
flight
should have
had
retook
been
that photo. I was
intentional,
blinking.
he consistently maintained that it had been the
There
result
was one
of a
hour,
mistake.
before the internet. There
His
was
journey
like
went
1
on to
hour
gain
photo.
international
I don't know if you
attention
don't remember
and
that.
earned
Yeah.
him the nickname
No, I remember that, yeah.
Long Way
We
Corrigan.
would drop off our
Corrigan's
Photomax.
pilot
There
used to be
certificate
photomax
was
in every
temporarily
parking lot, every
suspended
mall.
for 14 days
Booth,
by
Yeah.
the
drop
US
off your
Department
film,
of
go back
Commerce.
to
You could go
This
shopping and then
coincided
come
with the
back and
time
then
it took
pick
for
them
him
up,
to
yeah.
return to the United States
This
by
is about
ship.
wrong way,
He was
Corrigan.
later
Not
welcomed
Photomax.
home as a folk hero who
Look
was
at that.
celebrated with a
Folk
got a
ticket
hero.
parade.
in New York City.
for being a
Great
just
job.
absolutely.
You don't know how to fly a plane. Good job, man.
Just only goes to prove we celebrate the wrong things.
Yep. We were celebrating a guy who fucked up. I guess that's the American spirit right there.
Yeah. Well, like little Jack Horner.